All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our virtual event space at Books and Books, your locally owned independent bookstore. Oh, sorry, 1 second. We really appreciate you being here, supporting our bookstore, our booksellers, and the authors we have the privilege of hosting. Tonight, we have a very, very fun and special event to share with you. We're thrilled to be part of the virtual tour launching The Gilded Ones by Namina Forna, easily one of the most anticipated books of the year and certainly the most anticipated YA fantasy for us. And if you missed the news, it's now also been optioned for film. So to keep things fun and exciting for the tail end of your long weekend, Namina has planned a slumber party themed chat with fellow young adult authors Kim Johnson, Christina Hammonds Reed, and Danielle Clayton. I'm going to read their formal bios, and then I'll tell you a little bit about your screen and hand you guys over. So Namina Forna is a young adult novelist based in Los Angeles and the author of the epic fantasy YA novel, The Gilded Ones. Originally from Sierra Leone, West Africa, she moved to the US when she was 9 and has been traveling back and forth ever since. Namina loves building fantastical worlds and telling stories with fierce female leads. She's here tonight, joined by friend and fellow author Kim Johnson, a 2021 Pacific Northwest and YALSA Top 10 Best Fiction Award-winning novelist. This Is My America is her best-selling novel that explores racial injustice against innocent Black men who are criminally sentenced and the families left behind to pick up the pieces. She held leadership positions in social justice organizations as a teen and in college, and is now an author and interim vice provost at the University of Oregon. We're also joined by Christina Hammonds Reed, the New York Times bestselling author of The Black Kids, a William Morris YA Debut Award finalist. She holds an MFA from the University of Southern California School of Cinematic Arts. Her writing has appeared in Elle, Teen Vogue, the Santa Monica Review, and One Teen Story, among other outlets. A native of the LA area, she's a proud Angelino and self-proclaimed beach bum. And then last but certainly not least, we have Danielle Clayton, the New York Times bestselling author of the Bells series, the co-author of the Tiny Pretty Things duology, which is now a Netflix original series. She hails from the Washington, D.C. suburbs on the Maryland side. She taught secondary school for several years and is a former elementary and middle school librarian. She's also the COO of the nonprofit We Need Diverse Books and owner of Cake Literary, a creative story kitchen and IP content company. She runs the science fiction and fantasy book club Black Girls with Magic and Books, and she's an avid traveler and always on the hunt for magic and mischief. Okay, so the last things from me are about your screen. At the bottom right, there is a button that says Ask a Question. At the end, for the Q&A portion, this is the best way for your questions not to get lost in the chat if you want to use that button. Next to it, we do have a little donate button if you're willing or able to help things going at Books and Books. And then below me, the most important button of the night is that big green one. And this is where you can pick up your copy of The Gilded Ones. We do have signed copies. We do ship worldwide. We can do store pickup, whatever it is you're looking for. Big green button. So that's it from me, and I'll see you guys in a little while.
Oh my gosh.
Hi. Welcome.
Thank you.
Hi, Kim.
I was
Slumber
just about
party.
to say something nice. Yes.
You guys look so fancy. You're like Snoopy.
Yes. I see your PJs.
Yes.
How did y'all know I was going to wear this today? I mean,
I don't know.
I don't even know.
Wow.
I mean, like, we had to stay ready.
always.
For you guys, though, it's really dark out here. I'm in New York, so it's like
Wow.
7 o'clock. It's cocktail hour, not quite pajama hour, but I'm ready.
Oh, I'm ready.
I
have
feel
my
like you
extra
quarantine
large
every hour
wine
pajama
glass
hour,
of
though,
water.
right?
Yes, I had to do red stripe because it has been a day. So, and poor Josh, my publicist, I'm like, oh no, I did not read that email. I'm looking in the wrong email for this.
You're like, Josh sent me up.
Link. I know, we could drag Josh. I'm sorry, Josh. I should
Yeah,
have.
but that's how the best slumber parties start, right?
I know.
We are matching.
Shenanigans begin.
The little shenanigans. I'm barely getting these pants, but we're going to rock today. I'm like, Namina, woo! Like, it's tight. These are some tight.
You told me what to buy.
I did. I think I thought I was a certain size before pandemic. And now I'm like, well, damn.
No, it was European size. European size. That's what threw it
Right.
off.
I'm like, this is tight. This is a little tight. You should have seen me. I'm like, oh, gotta go. Pulling them on, running to try to get my stuff set up. I'm like, I almost split them in the back. I was like,
Oh my God.
I'm not,
Question, am I the only one who can't see your video?
Oh, it only yeah,
here.
we can see you. Yeah, it just
Yeah.
does that with podcasts sometimes.
Oh, okay, cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
I can see everyone.
Yeah.
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 So, well.
And,
we've been-
and Books and Books sees everyone, so you're all on camera.
Oh, great. Now, we have been planning behind your back for tonight.
Yes.
So you're going to just have to submit to our will.
I am here.
So what we're going to do is we're going to do some girl talk, and then we're going to play a few little games, and then do Q&A. Right? Does that sound good for you?
That sounds great for me. I'm ready.
Okay, you ready? You really
Mhm.
ready? You say you're ready.
No. No. Now I feel some type of way. Now I'm scared. Let me hold my pillow.
I know, but first we'll ease you up into the girl talk because, hello, your book is out. The Gilded Ones is here. Can we celebrate that? Like it's here. How do you feel? You made it. You made it. You've had a journey because I recall a few things. So can you talk about a little bit of the journey of the Gilded Ones and like we are here, it is out, we are celebrating with the slumber party. Like tell me because things have changed. Like last year, pandemic. We're still in pandemic.
Man. So like I tend to call my whole journey, like in general, 12 years of failure. That's what I call
No,
my
not to be confused with 12 years a slave, but
I know, right?
12 years of failure. Because like so I decided to be an author in undergrad, right? I had like the inklings of the idea for the Gilded Ones in undergrad, and I wrote my first book, which will never see the light of. Well, no, that's a lie. I'm gonna rewrite it. I wrote it in undergrad.
Don't waste those words.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, because I have a whole. Oh, well, thank you, Maya. Because I have like a whole world built up that I'm like, I'm not letting that go. But so I decided that writing was what I wanted to do. And literally, when I was like, I want to become an author, like this, I was at Spelman, and even my professors were like, maybe think about that. Because I think they knew, they knew like what this industry is like. But I was like, no, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And of course, I started trying to query and all these things and nothing. For years and years and years, nothing. Like when I tell you, it was just like I had to get like hundreds of rejections. It was really bad. So finally, I was like, this is not sustainable. I need a day job and I need something that I can enjoy while I'm trying to figure out what to do. So I was like, okay, let me go to film school because one of my cousins went and I was like, oh, I didn't realize you could actually go and get a career there, but maybe I'll find what I want to do. And I went and of course I fell into screenwriting there, which is another stupid thing that you shouldn't do because like that's another like not solid thing, another pipe dream. I didn't know, like, I'm African, born and raised. So, like, I thought, American meritocracy, everything is fair. Like, as long as you're the best or as long as you're, like, really good, you get there. I didn't understand racism.
Lies.
Like, I didn't understand racial bias. I had all the words because I went to Spelman, which is all Black and all female. So I had the words, but in terms of the lived experience that, you would get from your parents and all these things, I didn't get that because, we came straight from like Sierra Leone, So I went to film school and it was at film school. I was 25 when I wrote the first iteration of the Gilded Ones. I immediately sent it off into the world and I got back some, this is really nice, but does she have to be, Black? Like, I would just like, because remember, like back, like this is around what 2012. Like remember back in those days, like
yeah.
the whole
You mean the pre-Danielle We Need Diverse book? So before We Need Diverse books,
yes. I don't know if you watched
before she changed our lives. Before she changed our lives.
You did. I don't know if you watched my what is it called, my launch, but I actually talked about like the impact that you had, Danielle, because before your book, I had literally never seen a black girl on that cover. So I was just like, that's when I was like, oh my gosh, it's actually possible. If she can do it, maybe I can keep in, because like around like 2013, I sort of lost all hope. I was like, this is never going to happen. And at the time I had representation, but my representation didn't believe in me. And they would tell me that like, this wasn't, that like this wasn't marketable, like the stuff that I was writing. And like they would have me write other things that were like about white dudes and stuff. Which, what do I know about white dudes? You know what I mean? Like, what do I know about?
So write the heck out of a white impotent man, honey, for a story. I'm gonna get paid. I'm gonna get paid out here. I'm gonna be the next Hemingway. Y'all won't even know.
So like, and like during this time, like I had a whole backup, and my backup was law school. I think I applied to law school 3 times, got in 3 times, and never went.
Because you're so brilliant. That's why.
Like, much to the dismay of my family. But anyway, finally, Danielle came, Get Out came, Black Panther came. All of these people came. And finally, I realized the time was right when I saw Black Panther coming. I told my agent, I have this book. It requires a page 1 rewrite because I need to toss out all the stuff that I had. She's like, cool. How long do you need? I was like, 2 months. Got it into her in a month and a half. I was waking up at 4 a.m., which actually I still do now. Like I still like, apparently those are my writing hours. But I like, that's when I learned to like wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning and like write and like, be done with my 10, 20 pages by like 10 a.m. And just, so I did that. I would write 30, 40 pages on the weekend. And I got that book out, and I got that book done in a month and a half. And on the day that it went out was the day that it sold. Although my agent had sent it out 2 days before. So technically it sold 2 days before. But yes.
I love that.
So that is the story.
And that is the journey. And it's a beautiful journey for many reasons. 1, perseverance. 2, you got a story out there that is phenomenal. I had the pleasure of blurbing this book and I couldn't shut up about it. It's the book that I needed at 16 to show me that there's a lot of complicated conversations you can have in the context of being while being a person in a Black body, right? Like, and it didn't have to be, you know what I mean? There were certain kinds of heroes and heroines and people who faced evil, and no one who ever looked like me or the people in my family. So, and you were able to launch this. The book is beautiful too.
It's gorgeous.
It's gorgeous. And then
I need to send my illustrator flowers.
I mean, talk about it. Look at that girl. When I was told to never put a Black girl on my cover when I was coming in, before I debuted, never put a Black girl on the cover of your book if you wanted to sell. It's just
that's what they used to tell us.
To see that. Yeah. I mean, all of you have made it. All of us have Black girls on our cover.
Started from the bottom, now we're here.
Can you believe that? Look, I'm just grateful that you all are here. That now I have a big sisterhood. Nicola Yoon and I were the only 2 Black women in our debut class. It was me and her. It was real, we were the 2 little chocolate chips. And during pandemic, I'm like the color of these
sweet chocolate chips,
which is like terrifying to me. But it was just really lonely. So I'm just so happy to have all of these different Black women writing different kinds of stories, so that our kids, our readers, get to have a variety. That's all I've ever been yelling about. Give them all of the different kinds of books so that they can have a relationship with literacy.
Yes.
So
let's unite.
Exactly. Enough of the girl talk. We're going to do the first game, which is, would you going to do this one, and Kim's going to do the next one, and then Christina's going to do the next one. So we'll play a game, and then we're going to chat a little bit more, and another game. Okay? we're all going to answer the questions. However, Namina, your answers better be good.
I will try. She's a gun to the head. Do it. Do it.
Okay? All right. Okay, so would you rather, I have a list here. Would you rather drop your favorite book in the toilet or the fireplace?
Ooh.
What is the torture? Something, what's it going to be?
I would have to say the
Okay,
fireplace.
so like okay, this is messed up, but I'd rather drop it in the toilet because in the toilet it can be resuscitated. Once it goes to the fireplace,
it's over. I'm sorry, it's
you can put
over.
it outside. The sun will cure it of the germs. Like laid out in the sunlight.
What's in the toilet?
I mean, assuming there's not stuff in the toilet, like it will survive.
I would just want to let it go. Like, I'll be like, oh, bye. See you later to my favorite book. Because it's going to be warped. I mean, it's going to be.
Man, listen, when I was growing up in Sierra Leone and like, you know, like books were hard to come by. So like, I didn't care.
Man, she got us there, guys.
I got y'all there because I know the scarcity and the value of books.
Man, I don't like you. I hate you. Why are you going to make us feel bad
The only
now?
thing I've ever stolen in my life was a book when I was a kid.
Wow.
I stole a little Disney book because I could not have any other access to it. And that's the only thing I've ever stolen. I've never stolen again.
She got us. She got us. Yeah.
That's
Now we just feel bad, right?
So, fast toilet. Christina, where's your book going? In the toilet or in the fireplace?
Okay, so I was thinking it depends on what's in the toilet because if I was reading on the toilet, chances are I was doing something, right? But how else do I get the book with me to the toilet area? I'm probably taking it into continuing.
They can't just choose a path. They have to analyze all of
Right. We've
all
seen
the
those stories.
Yes or no?
I think I may go with toilet too, depending on what I've done in the toilet.
Some things cannot be.
Kim, where are you going? What you gonna do?
Fireplace.
Fireplace.
Because at least I can see it, just like the ashes just slowly dissipate. I might be able to read a couple of pages as it burns, and I can bury it.
Oh,
say goodbye, right?
I can't deal with the toilet. I just say goodbye. It's ceremony.
On the Fahrenheit 451, your book.
Yeah. Danielle Clayton and Kim Johnson said they were burning books out here.
I mean, but I love that image of you holding a ceremony for your book. Speaking of which, y'all, I'm getting a dog soon, and when I do, I want to hold a baptism. Y'all are all invited. This will be a very dignified event. I expect hats and gloves.
I have my church.
I'll get a fascinator. I'm good. We'll be good.
I'll be ready to bless that dog. I'm ready. Okay. Would you rather write a bestseller that is garbage or a great book that no one knows about? It's a great book, but nobody knows about it. So what you gonna do?
Excuse me, I will write a bestseller that is garbage because money. Like,
Yes,
I mean, like, okay, this is one of those things where people are like, "Oh, I'm an artist." No, bruh. Like, what you mean? This is a job too. We need coins.
So I'm on team crap, team garbage. Hashtag pay me. It's still green. Even if it's garbage, and we know a lot of people who have written garbage books and have taken it to the bank. So let me.
I'll be like Dave Chappelle.
Okay, but do we have an established career before that? Like, I feel like we need.
I need context. I need context.
Yeah.
You guys, you're supposed to pick one side.
I don't think it matters. Look at all the garbage books that have great careers.
Exactly. Like,
But this is something that you become known for, because what if it's like nobody reads all your good stuff? They only read that one shit book. Then you're just like, no.
But they would have paid you for that one shit book, which means you can write all the other ones and not care.
Write whatever you want for the rest of your life. You can just play games. It doesn't matter.
Then you write beautiful, glowing things that nobody ever reads, and it's still fine.
Okay, but you know what though? If you write the bestseller then people will come for the good books, right? This is the thing.
Yeah.
You're right. If you write like the
That's
one crap book, then all of a sudden everybody's like, I'm going to look out for the next book by that person. Okay. I'm going to go with her.
You guys are all so smart and strategic. I was going the other way, but now you realize why mentorship is very important.
Lisa said, show me the money.
Okay. Now, would you never watch TV again or never read a book again? You get one.
That's mean.
I know it's mean. It's really disrespectful. I'm sorry.
It really is.
I know. I've been crafting this.
I can't answer that question.
I know.
That's
Not that
horrifying.
you do both. You write for TV. You love TV. You love
That's
that. And
horrifying. I can't choose. Somebody else go. I can't decide. This is
I'll have to
wickedness.
choose never TV. I love books too much.
Okay.
But that's a
Jordan
hard one.
Really love
Honestly,
TV.
Books are overrated, but on the other hand, TV is overrated. So I can't choose.
That's
overrated.
I said they're both overrated. Can we split down the middle?
controversial.
Okay, can we get a
Like, can we-
subscription
so I can
so
only
we can
watch
get
TV
Netflix
with
so we
one
can
eye
watch
and read books
Danielle's
with one eye?
shows, but then we can only have
She
Netflix.
did.
I don't want to watch
Ridiculous.
my dirty little show.
I can't answer this question. I plead the fifth.
You plead the fifth?
I plead the fifth. I can't. That is an impossible choice to
Compromise.
make.
You just watch streaming on your PC and you give up television.
There we go.
In that case, then yes,
That's a
totally.
cheat
Yeah.
code. That's a
Watch
cheat.
it on my phone. I'll watch it on my phone.
I don't have actual cable or whatever.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
neither.
So in that case, yes, 100%. TV can go.
Okay. Two more, and then back to girl talk.
Hmm.
Would you rather? This is about because we're going to talk a little bit about fantasy, and we're going to talk about world building and all of that. So these questions relate to that. Would you rather know the history of every object you touched, or be able to talk to animals?
I'd rather be able to talk to animals because I'm sure if I talk to enough, I can find out about the objects. Cheat codes.
Okay, so one for animals. Who wants to talk to animals? I don't know.
Namina, we are such good friends, but we are so opposite on our choices. I don't even know how do we get along. I don't
Because we both choose different things and then we sit together
Yeah.
and we read and keep each other company.
Because
that
me
is
and
life.
animals aren't friends, so I'd rather the
Not even
object.
dogs?
I'm allergic, so I just can't.
So what happens when I get magnificent?
Well, you're my friend. As long is it a big dog?
No, I'm getting like a teeny one.
Okay, I can do a teeny little yapper dog. That's I can do that.
But do you want to talk to the dog?
No, I have no interest.
See, I was worried about.
See, she's giving me some strong villain vibes right now. I'm just gonna put it out there that she's like,
Are you calling her Cruella
I'm
de Vil?
the sweetest.
We call her Cruella de
I-
Vil.
she is.
I'm sugar and lollipop. I'm sugar and
Yes.
lollipop. I've just been traumatized by animals.
Oh,
My Cruella.
What happened?
yeah.
I don't know. I just am scared of them. I don't know.
Oh.
Although in my backyard I have deer, but I stay away.
Don't you want to talk
That's
to
how you
him?
know she doesn't live in LA. In my backyard, I have deer.
I don't-
First of all, who has a backyard?
I live in New York City. The only animals I have are pigeons and rats. So that's all I
We
get
have
to see.
coyotes.
So do you want to talk to the rats then? I guess that's the question. Rats
No,
or
ma'am.
objects?
No. I don't want to talk to them because then it could just be, what if a chicken starts talking to me and they ruin fried chicken for me for the rest of my life? You know what I mean?
Then
I
it's,
don't want to go down
I
that.
hear you.
I'm not a vegetarian. I would become a vegetarian very fast if I could talk to animals because
You're
I would
supposed to be
feel.
loving chickens.
It's true.
I
Yeah.
know, but they taste really
You see
good.
pigs and game?
Has
Apparently, pigs-
anybody ever killed a chicken before in their life?
I saw my grandmother do it in
My
Mississippi.
dad did.
Mhm.
It's gross. Let's not talk about it. It's
I
traumatic.
still talk to animals though. I would, cause I think I'd go with talking to animals myself.
Really?
I think
You
so.
get all the gossip,
Right.
you can rob
You
people
know
using
everything.
that
If you went to
skill.
somebody's house and you spoke to their dog, you'd know all kinds of their business, right? Like you
I
know.
would do all kinds of crime if I had that.
Mm-hmm.
All the
Okay,
crap.
villain. Okay, villain.
You think the hamburger
Who's the
look
villain now?
like
Who's the villain now?
I'm about to tell you some things. Or
No, I
cat.
want to touch these objects. I want to know the history of things.
Me
I want to
too.
know
Yes. Yes.
who did what. Like, then I
But
could,
then
you know,
imagine if you like go into the bathroom and you touch the toilet
Mm.
and,
I
all of a
don't want that. I don't want to know that.
I mean,
I'll wear gloves.
No.
and you
No.
can't turn it off. That would be like an
No.
awful
Like
curse.
that's too I could zone out. I could figure out how to zone out things that are not important. Just the
Exactly. Put my gloves
Yeah.
on, things like
Mhm.
that. All right.
Exactly.
Now
The
know history
gloves.
of your gloves.
The gloves.
Okay, but
Yeah.
you can tune out the animals you don't want to talk to,
Mm.
right?
I think of course the animals
Yeah.
get really aggressive. You know what I
I
mean?
mean,
Like,
because I mean, if you don't want to
Sometimes
talk
they
to
just
the
want to love
animal,
on you.
I know.
Sometimes they just
destined-
want to show you love.
Yeah. I don't know. I've only had one pet, and I don't know if I want to talk to them. A bird.
you had a bird. Did you say?
I did. I had a bird when I was a child, but I just have little memories of it. And my mother was like, yeah, you had a bird. And I'm like, well, you didn't get us anything else. She was like, yeah, because everything died. And I was like, you guys are terrible parents. You're terrible. Everything died. So,
I've had like every animal. My first pet was a cat named Meow Bella Bella, and he was just the best. He'd
Meow
walk me to
Bella
school.
Bella. Okay.
No, not Bella, Bella, as in, you know, he had belly, as in fat tummy.
Hmm.
He was
Oh.
quite fat because I perpetually fed him. And he'd like walk me to school and we take baths together. He's the best pet I've ever had.
I wanted a pet, but my parents just did not believe in having an animal that didn't pay rent in the house.
I hear you. That's what I feel.
So something else to be fed and cleaned up after. I wanted a guinea pig and a gerbil so much. And my mom was like, we don't let rats in the house. So I'm like, they're not rats. And she was like, they
They
are.
might as well be.
They are rodents. So I was surprised. In my childhood, I tell her. Okay, last one. Would you rather be able to see 10 minutes into your own future or 10 minutes into the future of anyone else, of someone else?
Hmm.
Ooh.
Oh,
That's
let me
easy
think
for
through
me.
that. Let me think through that.
So you can see either your own future
Mhm.
or you can see someone else's future.
Although I feel like during the pandemic, that's just real boring all around, right? Like it's like I'm going to be on the couch in 10 minutes. I bet you she's going to be on the couch in 10 minutes. Right?
You're going to shower for the day in 10
Right.
minutes. You're going to go around your house.
I don't know about this one. This is a really interesting gift. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, there's so many iterations.
And just 10 minutes, right? I'm trying to see
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
I'm going to say for myself. I want to know what's coming. Like, is there something going to jump out of the
Mhm.
woodwork on me when I'm walking? through
Final
the-
Destination.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Right? Am I going to
This is the type of gift that gets you followed by the thingy from Final Destination. They're like,
I want to know what the lotto numbers are because I will not be noble about it. Will not. Mm-mm. No. Run those numbers and get this coin and make sure that I get reset.
You could gamble on games.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
Yeah.
okay, I'll do 10 minutes for me. You all have convinced me.
Yeah.
Excellent. Oh, good. Okay, back to girl talk. I want us to talk about world building. Everyone's doing world building in a different way. Christina, you had to take us back in the past. Namina took us to a different place. And Kim, you showed us and pulled the wig off of what was happening right now. And I want us to sort of discuss, how do you build your worlds? How do you do what you do as writers? Because it's really actually hard and everyone has to do it. Who wants to go to the hot seat first?
I think Namina should, since this is her
She
day.
should. Yep.
How y'all picking on me? All right.
It's your day. We're here for you.
As I was
We're
thinking
all
of this
golded
event-
up and champagne.
I know I have my lipstick on. I have to stretch my legs out because these pants are too tight.
Danielle, like I know. Okay, so this may be this is sort of inappropriate, but I now really want to see what type of booty you're working with. Like, Because I have like, you know, I am flat as a pancake. It's very
Me
sad.
too.
I'm like the one African with no.
Look,
Me too.
I got all the Nigerian and Malian I can get. That's the bloodline I have over here in my kingdom.
I don't know what happened. It just bypassed me.
I would love to give you some. Ask Nick Stone.
I cherish it.
I will give you some. Like,
I would love some. Like that has
seen
been
one
like
of
my aspiration in life is to have a big old booty, and yet it's never happened.
You have something. You have something.
I know, but like it's okay. But I would like a big old booty. I'm saying it to the universe.
I need it more than you do.
We can have this conversation.
Yeah. Okay. So world building.
World building. World building.
I'll send you a photo when we get off. I'll send you a
all
photo.
knowing each other.
I'll send you that photo. Okay. World building.
All right. So how did I come up with my world?
Yeah. How did you do it? Because it's dark and complicated and very nuanced and complex.
Okay. So as you guys know, my world is brutal. But it comes from a really brutal place. And the place that it comes from is I grew up in Sierra Leone and I grew up during the Civil War, like right at the beginning of the Civil War. And because of that, I always say I had an expectation of violence. Like I was thankfully protected because of my family. And like, you know, they were very diligent about like keeping me safe, but there's only so much you can do when you live in those circumstances. So like, I was always aware of things that children should not be aware of. I always had this sort of tension. Like I was always stressed out. Like imagine growing up like that. You're always stressed out. You're always anxious. And the thing about the Sierra Leonean Civil War is like, first of all, Sierra Leone is extremely patriarchal. So like when the war came, the atrocities that happened to women were just like mind numbing. Like, you know, I have family members who were sex slaves, like for over a decade, like, cause that's what happened. They would take you and they take you to the bush and all these things. So I grew up with sort of that understanding. And then the other thing is in Sierra Leone, we have a secret society called Bondo where, like when they take you, basically what they do is they do FGM. And most girls grow up with that expectation that you are going to be cut. Like, and again, I have the privilege of like my family being educated. So my dad was like over my dead body and my mom was like over my dead body. But for most of my family, this is par for the course, right? This is what I grew up with. And then when I come to America, it's, you know, I grew up in Georgia and Georgia is very Bible banging. You know, like especially the parts that I grew up in. And I was looking and I was like, this is sort of funny because it's like, you guys are doing the same thing that people were doing in Sierra Leone, but like you're making it, but it's more polite. You still hate women, but like you're more polite about it. You know what I mean? And then you cover it with religion, you know? And for me, there's a difference. You know, like, I think spiritual beliefs are important and amazing, but I think that when people use religion as a tool of oppression, which I have seen, that's one of the worst things ever. So it's because I came from this background of all of these things that I created the world that I did, because I really wanted to show to young people, especially, what does it look like when you grow up in a world like I did, you know what I mean? Like, because like, yes, the Gilded Ones, it's fantasy, it's all of these things, but like, it comes from a very true sort of lived experience that I've had. And so I started with the idea of what happens where you are in a world where people hate women. And because people hate women, they tell them that they're this, which is what is this world. Like, because people hate women, they tell us all these things. You know, there's always these culture wars over our bodies and our autonomy and all these things. And I'm like, all of this is just all part of the continuum. And so that's how I was like, oh, there's a ceremony. Like there's a ritual, and this is the ritual of purity, and they cut you because, of course, people love to cut women. That's just all across the world. People stay cutting. So I was like, let's start from there, and let's see.
I like how you just threw that out.
hate you.
Real serious. I'm all teary-eyed. Like, and they just stay cutting them in.
I mean, it's Namina Cloud, right? Like hitting us with like the hard stuff in our heart, and she's like, and it cut. And blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I love you.
But that's really where it came from, and I'm really lucky because again I went to Spelman College and it's all Black and it's all female, and like you have to stay on campus for your first year. Now I believe you have to stay on campus for 2 years, and so that also had a part to play in the world. That's where the Watibera comes from, and even a lot of the things that happen in the Watibera are actually things that happened at Spelman, like not the awful things, but like certain rituals that Spelman has, I put into the book. You know, so like that's where the world comes from. It is, I wanted to explain to people in a sort of fantastical way what it looks like when you are in a place where you are hated, where you're feared, where you're loathed, and they want to compress you and make you small. And so that's how I built my world.
And I love that you run straight into the teeth of it. Like you don't shy away from the darkness, but you give us nuanced portrayals, because I do think it's important for us not to water down our experiences or water down our worlds. It's just like the way that Christina really went head first into the Rodney King, which is such a, I think that it's still an open wound for us. Mm-hmm. I remember where I was when it happened. It's one of the memories of my childhood that'll never leave me is that. Just watching the television and knowing what was happening. And yeah, I'd be curious, Christina, to hear how you were able to like transport us, really figure out how you were going to tell this story.
Woo. So I feel like all of our books have something hugely in common with each other, which is kind of navigating the world as a Black woman, regardless of whether it's in this fantastical space or if like Kim, your protagonist is so empowered, whereas Ashley is very delicate. And so for me, it was kind of, a lot of it was drawn from real life. Like I'm not Ashley, but it was like, what is it like to be in spaces where you're one of the few Black women in that space? And what is it like when not only are you one of the few Black women in your space, but also you have this like huge event where everybody is focused on race, right? So as so many of us sort of experienced in 2020, when you have these like massive conversations on race happening, it makes you start to question who your friends are in meaningful ways. It makes you start to realize who your allies are and are not. It makes you realize how in some ways you've been complicit in terms of friendship groups and not advocating for yourself as much as you could. So for me, it was grounding it in that, and then making sure that I did as much research as possible into what Ashley might be going through in 1992, because I was significantly younger than she was, so I don't remember it as well. But I did a lot of research and a lot of like watching old things and listening to old things to help me remember, and making sure that it felt like it could be 1992 or 2020 or 2021, because it's not anything that's ever gone away. Like we're always navigating that and how to, it's Ashley's coming of age story, but it's also Ashley's coming into her own voice as a Black girl in this world. So yeah, I think it was, I mean, I had it a little bit easier than I just had to sort of like, what does that feel like? Okay, I'm going to write that. But also making sure that I was as honest as possible, researching as much as possible, and just populating the world with people that I felt like I knew, or who were based sometimes on people that I did know growing up.
And you captured the texture of it. I just remember being a little girl. I think I was like 9 or 10 when it happened. Conversations that we were having in my household. I felt like, oh my gosh, like how, you know what I mean? Like I guess that every Black person in a Black family was having at the time.
Yeah, and that and OJ, right? Like I remember those things were like,
huge.
OJ was 7th grade. I think it was 7th grade for me. We watched the trial in school, and I was one of 2 Black kids.
Yeah.
So that's why I felt really connected. And I remember teacher taking a vote on who they thought did it, if he was guilty or not. And the 2 Black kids raised their hands and said not guilty, because that's what our parents had told us at home. So like that's what we went to school with. And it was
And I
just
remember my parents being so irritated that people kept asking them. They were just like, I do not want to have to field these questions while at work and just trying to get by and do my job, right?
right. I'm in 7th grade. I have acne and I'm wearing clogs. And like, and my glasses are huge. Like, what do I know about O.J. Simpson or murder or like all of that or race relations? I'm like, I'm just trying to survive the day without someone calling me a tomato face, right? Like, that's all I'm worried about.
People call you a tomato face?
Why
Like,
did
what
I
kind of
believe
insult is even that?
Because I had really bad acne. And so what it did was it made me very red all the time.
Oh no.
So I just had cystic acne. So my face was very red and the acne was very red on my little brown face. So yeah, so that was like their insult. I'm in 7th grade, like pimpled up with my braids. Like, I just want to read my books.
Oh, we would have totally been friends. My sister said it should take a 4-wheel drive to get across your face. Mind you, she was 4 years younger, so it was a pretty good insult, right?
Oh, that's a good insult.
Right? Like, we were all like, that's mean, but also like, that's kind of good.
Yeah, that's a good insult. It's very clever.
Yeah, people just called me a library. I mean, they called me a dictionary. Sorry. They'd be like, "Oh, shut up, dictionary." Or African
Which is amazing because your storytelling, just you know what I loved about your book, Namina, is the word choice that you have. I mean, I think that that's the beauty of writing, but you have this such a beautiful, rich, you know, it sort of cuts to the point, really clear. And I think all of our traumas growing up, I think made us who we are, or we survived all of those, and it hit so much in our storytelling. But yeah, I just was thinking of just the connection of our experiences, even in the books that we write. And I think what I'm sort of most mesmerized right now is just the power of Black storytelling. And how our own sort of experiences and interpretations either connect us to the past or is Black futuristic and is sort of looking forward in terms of the possibilities. So, oh, that's exciting. I'm all deep now, all my feelings, y'all.
I love it.
I love it. And it's perfect because you're going to take us on a rodeo for this next game.
Yeah, let's go. We're going to switch it up. Okay, because of time, we're going to be really quick. So no time for like the chit chat or whatever. You just have to choose. So we're going with tropes. Okay. And you have to choose which trope is your thing. All right. So the first one, we'll start with easy. Series, and you know what? I want chat participation. So I want y'all to answer too. So series or standalone?
Series.
Standalone.
See, the fantasy folks are all like, yeah, we want the triple book New York Times bestseller.
Dang, Christina, come to the series world. Come on,
man. Watch my
I'm like
series be
standalone.
like 8 books long.
I'll be ready.
I'm like,
okay.
After I finished the Gilded Ones, I was like, I wonder if I can get a copy of draft 1 or 2 of the next one.
You're about to get this draft when I finish it tomorrow.
Okay.
He's like, say less. I got you. Okay, quick. Okay, so more tropes. The secretly rich trope or the blue collar grit?
Oh, secretly rich.
Rich, honey, rich.
Yes.
I think I might go for blue collar grit.
I
And it's so funny how Danielle and I are on this side of the screen.
I know, right?
It's like split down the middle.
You don't want to struggle.
I don't want to struggle. Yeah, I have known the depths of poverty. I refuse. No more poverty. No. Like, matter of fact, where's the salt to throw it in the corner so that I banish it?
Okay. Enemies to lovers or friends to lovers?
Friends to lovers. I don't like struggle. I'm not about that life.
I want to say enemies because it's hotter.
Enemies to lovers is hot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But in my real life, I would like a friends to lovers because I don't.
In real life, but in the book life.
Yeah.
In the book life.
I just want to just chill. And it's like,
but in book life, you want that. You want to be like, ooh, I
want that. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were asking about me. Does it do?
No, book trope.
No,
Okay.
but even in book trope, like
Mm-hmm.
I realize now in hindsight that the Gilded Ones is enemies to lovers. I didn't think about that as I wrote it. Because because I
See,
didn't really understand those
your
tropes.
secret
Like honestly,
desires are telling us what you like.
no. Honestly, I did not really read that much YA before. Like I was solidly like a middle grade reader or a romance reader. It was middle grade or whatever. So a lot of the YA tropes that people are like, I'm just like, okay, now I'm getting into it. But
Isn't enemies to lovers a thing in romance too?
yeah, I don't like that either in romance.
I love it. I love it.
I just prefer
Okay. Love triangle or insta love?
insta
Love
love.
triangle.
Love
Love
triangle.
triangle. Get me
Love
a good love
triangle.
triangle.
Love triangle. I'm trying to have
Y'all
many
want
options,
stress in
okay?
your lives.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Y'all
Love
want stress
triangles
in
are
your lives.
what?
Love triangles are great,
Oh,
but insta love is like, do I really like you, or do like
Right.
Is
is
this
it
grooming?
is
You're
it
like,
real?
is this grooming? Is this manipulation? What's happening here?
Is it real?
Yeah.
Right?
Are you
Right.
Joe?
No. I love triangles.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I just want options.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Options. Yeah. I mean, come on. Okay. So, do you like a trope that has a fake relationship or a breakup to make up?
Fake relationship.
Fake relationship.
I don't know.
I'll do the fake relationship, like the Laura Jean and Peter Kavinsky, like. But then they have to make it. If they don't, it has to turn into a real one. If
Yeah,
they
it has to turn into a real one.
You know, I'm like, where's my fake person? So that then we can right? Like, let's pretend and then see what happens. Because I'm not tired. We can pretend and see what happens. Where is Peter Kavinsky? Brown?
I want to go with fake, I think. Because if you break up, there's usually a reason that you broke up. Even if you don't realize it until later on, you're like, oh, wait, there was a reason. There was a reason.
There was a reason. Yep. Okay. So, villain turned hero or hero with flaws?
Villain turned hero. I love villain.
I don't know.
Third.
Because
Villain turned hero.
Villain turned hero.
Because, like, for me, a lot of my characters sort of exist on a continuum where they could like, easily switch from one to the other. I don't know. I think they're all, you know, birds of the same feather.
Kinda. I think
Heroes are boring. I agree, Leon.
Okay, so the last one I'll do is okay, bad boy girl trope or perfect golden boy girl trope?
Bad boy, bad girl.
Bad boy, bad girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Bad.
No golden girls or boys.
Yeah, boring.
Yeah.
Even though I was never a bad girl.
Yeah, never. It wasn't an option.
I wanted to be a bad girl, but I didn't consequences of being in the street. Right. So I did not do that.
I guess I have to disagree with y'all in that, like, no, because I want to examine a character that is going to be corrupted. So like I'm a golden person, corrupted golden person. Like that's what I'm interested in.
Okay, that's a little twist.
Grace. You want to knock them off their pedestal.
Yeah.
Like I want someone innocent, like who's like you. Oh wait, I've pitched to you. Who have I pitched to you guys this story? I think you know the Parasite one.
Me, you told it to me.
Yes. So
yeah.
That's a golden person knocked off their thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you did tell me that one. Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So that's a solid golden. Yeah.
Yeah. I've got a ton more, but I know that we're cutting into time, and so I don't know if you want to get into Q&A or I'm looking at.
Oh yeah, how's it
our hostess with the mostest, Danielle.
Oh right, we have 12. Like, how long can we go for? Like 15 more minutes, 10 more minutes. Either way, because Christina doesn't get to play her game.
Okay. One round, Christina. Let's jump into that, and then we'll jump.
We'll let the audience take over. It's okay.
Are you sure?
Oh, come on.
Well, 2 truths and a lie, but I feel like we all have to come up with them, and then we have to guess. So it'll take more than just a few minutes, right?
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do part 2 of our slumber party.
Part 2. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I like that idea.
Let's look at these questions. Okay. So, question for everyone. What was the last book that you read?
I just read Concrete Rose by Angie Thomas. I just finished that. That was so good. And I'm reading When You Look Like Us by Pam Harris right now.
Okay. I know. I'm looking at my pile. I have piles of books like everywhere.
Oh my God.
I can go. I just finished the Gilded Ones, but also I read.
Let me get mine. Let me get mine.
I read a nonfiction memoir by Nadia Owusu called Aftershocks. Where is that book?
So I just started The Firekeeper's Daughter.
Ooh.
And it's going strong so far, but I'm really interested in getting into it. And then I just read The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman.
So good.
I'm about to read JL's book, so I'm super excited about that. And I'm also super excited about Amari and the Night Brothers. Yeah, so those are all on my TBR, but like, yeah, that's where my head is at. And then, of course, I've read some very spicy romances that I'll never talk about.
I'm reading this great book,
The Right As
Adult in You, called The Inheritance. Yay! I'm excited for that, and I'm starting this very serious book.
Yeah,
that is a good one. That is a good one.
I feel like my gut is going to be snapped out. So I'm really excited to read that. I'm trying to read only books by women of color this year. So that's going to be my thing. Sorry, dudes. I'm going for the ladies. That's what I'm working on this year.
I forgot. I just read Ace of Spades by Farida, and that's really good. Because I've read it in the first iteration, and I just read this new iteration, y'all. It's fire. Look out for
Farida
my
on the
baby boo.
chat because I'm still waiting for my early advance.
Look out for my baby boo Farida, y'all. Ace of Spades.
Look, it's so good. I got to meet Frida last summer. I think
y'all making me jealous.
I always say her name wrong though.
In the UK, she's great. She's also like so much taller than me that I was like, I love it. We're like a clown.
Like 6 feet. She's like really tall.
6 feet tall, and I'm like 5'1".
It was like we've never met in person, and I stayed texting and calling her.
She's so sweet and like the best little egg there is. I got to meet her before she got published.
She's such a beauty.
She is. So yeah, I want to support all the women this year, and like that's like my priority. I'm like, okay, I'm reading a full year of just the ladies.
Yeah.
So that's good. Okay, let me take another question. Okay, is it safe to say, Namina, that your book is the YA variant of the Broken Earth trilogy by N.K. Jemisin with some elements of Who Fears Death by Nnedi Okorafor?
My God, that is a very interesting question that I do not know the answer to because I have yet to read the Broken Earth trilogy. So I don't know. Let me read it and get back to you, and then we'll have this discussion.
Absolutely. Okay, another one. This is great. I would love to know this for all of you. Did you have any input on your cover design? Because the image and colors and even back color are so striking and gorgeous. And all of you have amazing covers for your books. So I would be curious to know how your covers came about.
For me, we had one iteration that didn't work because like originally I thought like the cover should look very black and gold, very gloomy, very whatever. And that just wasn't working. So my editor was like, I know this artist. I think he'll do an amazing job on your stuff. His name is Tara Josu. He did one pass. I thought it was beautiful. I only had one note. And it was like a minuscule thing. I love my cover so much. It's perfect. I am so thankful for it. I'm getting it framed.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I wonder how they're going to, for the second book.
I know. How are they going to top that?
I saw a glimpse of the book too.
As soon as I go that first
chat.
Okay, I'll be waiting. Christina, how did you get yours? So cool. Coolest cover
Mhm.
So I got really lucky because they gave me two options, and I went with the one. I went with the Black woman who's based in, well, she's Spanish, but she's based in Sweden, Switzerland. Anyway, that doesn't matter. I just like the idea of having a Black female artist for the cover, and I loved her work. And so her name is Adriana Bellet, and she came up with most of this on her own. I had minimal input. I was just like, I think there should be more flames, or like maybe we should have less color or more color. And they're like, earrings or no earrings? Do you want like pink for your name? So I had like very minuscule input, but mostly because she's just so damn talented that I was like, my breath was taken away when I saw the cover. I started crying.
It's so good.
Yeah. It's big ups to her though. That is all her.
Kim, what about
you? I had a whole Pinterest board, and it had images. It was mostly Black art because there obviously wasn't a lot of Black book covers, and I was like, I need to have full face on the front, big hair. And so it was tons of art with big hair, but then like the flag and other elements. And originally it was a photographic picture of a person. But then because my book deals with such real stuff, we were worried that people would see it as nonfiction. And so they went with the Black illustrator, Chuck Stiles, and he was amazing. So I was able to like give lots of feedback. And Danielle, you've had all kinds of covers. I mean,
I know, right?
Do we have time to go through all of them, or do you want to choose just one? Or
I'll just
what's your favorite cover?
I don't know. My favorite cover is actually going to be will probably be the cover of my middle grade that's coming next year, which is my little Black girl magic school book called The Marvelers. I can't wait for you to see that and to see this Black girl and all her glory. But I have to say, like, The Bells was a revolutionary cover for me.
Absolutely.
Because they
for
made
everybody.
Right. They made this Black. I was nervous about it. I was like, look, I'm scared. We haven't done this before. I wish they had shown the dress. Like there are some pictures out there where you can see her whole dress. They made the dress for her. And there's a video on YouTube that shows the photo shoot with her in the dress. And I wish that you could have seen that part, because that would have been really cool. But yeah, I was definitely nervous about it. I do think it's a beautiful cover. I don't know if it tells you exactly what the book is about, because I get a lot of letters. This little girl wrote me, she's an 8th grader. She was like, I thought your book was just going to be a romance. And then there was and murder. And you had all this blood in this book. And it was very stressful. And so she was like, she read me, yo. She read me. You have the color pink on this book because it tells people that's a romance, and she looks too happy. I was like, she cussed me out. My wig, I have no edges.
It's too stressful.
I'm gonna just tell her. I'm gonna send her the Gilded Ones. I'm gonna be like, I got something for you.
Okay, so this is a serious question. Am I gonna traumatize people, you guys?
Oh yeah.
Well, the Hunger Games didn't traumatize nobody.
The Hunger Games didn't. They need it. I'm sorry. It's good.
I just think that people want to label Black stories as traumatizing to push them to the side when there are so many books that feature white kids, shooting kids, killing kids, all kinds of stuff. And we've
Lord of the Flies. We all had to read
Lord
that.
of the Flies. That's what I was thinking about when you said that.
That's brutal.
Such a violent book. So I think you have an honest
book. Good. Yeah.
I think your book is very honest. And I think that's what I'm most excited for teens to really dig their getting their teeth into. Is like, oh my God, this is a very honest book. Looks at sexism, intersectionality. That's where yes, finally. A white feminism book that has dark elements. So I don't think so. I think you're gonna scare some kids that need to wake up. And it's right? And
there are so many kids who grew up in this. Like you've said this before, where there are kids where this was their reality.
Exactly.
Those kids deserve to be honored on the page as well.
Exactly. And we're allowed to shake things up. And I think that you are a writer and you created a world and a book, and I hope you continue, that makes me sit up. I don't think discomfort is a bad thing. I don't agree. To be comfortable. People write me all the time and they say The Bells is disturbing. It is, it scared me. I don't think it's appropriate. And I said, the world that I walk around in is disturbing and uncomfortable. So that's how I feel.
I have a question. Has anybody had their book banned? Because I am looking forward to that happening to me.
Not yet.
I'm just waiting. I'm like, who's gonna ban my book? Who? Like, that's how I know. That's how I will know I have made it, y'all.
Yeah. Because I was a middle school librarian, I kind of know what gets a book banned. So like, you know, I think that people will try to say that your book is too dark for kids. And I'm like, really? But we can watch The Hunger Games. Yeah. We can see an insurrection happen.
Watching Attack on Titan, which is an excellent piece of filmmaking, I must say. But still, that's what they're watching. That's what I'm watching.
What I would love is for your book to be taught alongside The Handmaid's Tale, so that we can retire The Handmaid's Tale. And start and really start teaching books that meet kids where they are. And I thought the book is visceral and interesting and like, let's go in direct conversation with it. And I just think you did something really special with it. And I just, what's next for you ladies? What's coming up? What's on deck? Namina, when is the book due?
Right.
So I am literally tomorrow. I will finish my edit for book 2. Okay. Super excited about that. I have a middle grade world. I have like two middle grade worlds that I'm very excited to delve into. Super excited about that. I have an idea for another young adult novel, but this one is a standalone where we will have our golden whatever, our golden character, and our character who I've always wanted to create a character who's just like not a good person, like, you know, a lush, like about like who wants to like rob and thieve and like just live their best life. So doing that odd couple pairing.
I love it.
So those are the next things, and hopefully I'll get them out. Also, we're currently pitching a TV show. We will see where that goes. And of course, I'm almost done rewriting the Gilded Ones movie. So yeah.
Yay!
Screenwriter, all of that.
I love it. Christina, what you got on deck? What's coming?
So I'm trying to do an adult book that is kind of an exploration of Black performers and that pursuit of the American dream over decades, and how that sort of, how our society takes from Black American performers as much as they give. So it's looking at a family that is kind of like the Jackson 5 and how they grow apart, come together in weird ways, with the additional layer of a ghost child minstrel. So
minstrel.
Yes, I don't know if I can pull it all off, but if I can,
you can. I want to read it.
Me too. Did you see that? Did you see Lovecraft Country?
I did.
So you saw Foxy and yeah. For days.
That scared me so much. Oh my God, just remembering it.
Just remember, sorry, you said a minstrel ghost, and it was like she popped up in my head.
Oh God, like that's a reminder.
But I do think that I think that's beautiful. I think it's going to be amazing to think about what the legacy of that. The fact that we are terrorized by that image is because we've been terrorized from white America by that depiction. So, I'm looking forward to this. Yes. Yeah. Okay, Kim.
Yeah. I want
to
know.
I have some stuff that are kind of coming out that I can't talk about. I did have a historical fiction that was coming out, but I when I write, I'm very purpose driven when I write, and inspired, and was pulled in a different way, and I can only write that way, and so I can't talk about it. But yeah, things are in the mix. Things are happening. Things are brewing. One day y'all will see.
Good.
How about you, Danielle?
Yeah.
I've got.
You said your Marvel. You said, what is it?
Yes. So I have a middle grade series that starts next year, called The Marvels. It's my answer to Harry Potter. What happens when, I felt like when you went to Hogwarts, you had to practice colonial magic. What happens when we all come together with our own communities and we practice magic from our own backgrounds? So I'm excited for that. This year I have a book called Blackout that comes out June 22nd with some ladies, Angela Thomas and Nicole Stone, Tiffany Jackson, Ashley Woodfolk, and Nicola Yoon. We were real depressed during the pandemic, and I said, we're going to write a book together about love, because because these Black kids deserve to see themselves. Really, I was watching a show with my niece. We were watching all the Netflix shows, and she was like, "Why don't the Black girls ever get a love story? Like they're always the sidekick, or like
Bridgerton.
never." Right? Yep. I heard you. I was like, "Why don't the Black girls get chosen, and why do the Black boys never choose them?" And so I was like, "Bet Auntie got it," and I called them, and I said, "Let's do this thing." And so that comes out in June. There might be a cover-shaped thing coming shortly. So. And some big news. So I'm excited for that. And then I have a book called Shattered Midnight, which is the second book in a Disney series called The Mirror, about a family curse that's passed down through the generations of a family. It came out last year by Julie C. Dow, called Broken Wish. Mine picks up in the next generation of the family. It comes out in October, and it's called Shattered Midnight. And we go to 1928 New Orleans.
Nice.
Yeah, and magic
Favorite
and like
place.
Oh, I love it.
I just did quarantine there for like a month and a half because it's like one of my favorite places in the world.
You guys, we need to go to New Orleans and do a writing retreat because I love that
where
place.
I will Corona swab this nose and get on the road, honey, and meet you in New Orleans at any point in time. Say the word, Namina.
Maybe, no, seriously, maybe we need to plan this for later on this year.
Let me
get our vaccines. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's
Writing retreat.
I'll bring these pajamas and you'll see how
Daniel has a retreat house in NOLA. Hit him up.
All right, let's do it.
I'm in.
Okay. All the LA booze, come on.
East Coast, y'all.
Yeah, come on. We made it. We did it with no profanity. Look at that.
I hate that I'm here, but we're out of time.
No, we've had such a good time.
This was so fun. No, thank you guys so much. Thank you, Danielle, Christina, and Kim for hanging out. And Namina, we're so excited to have the Gilded Ones in all our stores and to be able to host you tonight. It was great.
Love you guys so much for having us.
Yeah, I wish I could see you guys on the road.
Thank you all for coming.
Thank you, everyone who turned out. That green link, if you're watching this back later, will work as long as you can see it. So thanks for everybody who tuned in and everybody who watches later as well.
Thank you, guys.